everyone. Now we're doing an extra cook-along this week since it's Valentine's Day on Sunday. We thought we would show you how to do some mini Valentine sponges. Now when it's snowing outside, what nicer thing to do than to get in your nice warm house doing some baking. Now the first thing when we're making a sponge or a cake is to line the tin, get that done out the way so you're ready just to go once you've made your mixture. Now I'm just using a rectangle tin today, but just it doesn't really matter. You can do it in a round cake tin as well. I'm just going to shape these once we're done. Now the trick is when you're making a sponge, just remember for every egg you use you need 50 grams of sugar, self-raising flour and margarine or butter, whatever you prefer. Now I've got in here 150 grams of caster sugar and 150 grams of margarine because this tin takes about 3 eggs. So just judge on the size of cake you're making. If you've got a tin that size, 3 eggs is a good quantity to use. Now I've got a wooden spoon and I'm just creaming together the butter, margarine and the caster sugar. If your butter's quite hard, make sure you get it out the fridge to soften a bit before, otherwise it will be quite tricky. So once you've got that cream nice and fluffy, it should just drop off the spoon if you flick your wrist when over at the right consistency. Now I've got my 3 eggs in this jug which I've beat with a fork, and I'm going to add a little bit of the egg, and then I'm going to sift in some of my self-raising flour, 150 grams of it as well. And then just give it a mix between each addition. Another little bit egg, and another little bit of flour. Use your spatula to scrape down the sides of the bowl. And that's us ready. Into the cake tin. Now the thing is, my son just said school's never going to be the same, so we're never going to get a snow day again now that we can do all this online learning. I'm sure you can find a spare half hour in your day to get outside and build a nice snowman. Right, that's my mixture ready, so get your oven gloves. Now I've preheated the oven to 180, do that right at the start so it's nice and hot, ready to go in. And that's going to take about 25 to 30 minutes to bake, and then it's going to need to cool while we prepare the icing. I'm just going to show you while that's in. Don't forget to clear up all your mess. Now this time I've got 80 grams of butter. Now with the cake I just used this baking margarine, which is absolutely fine I think for a sponge cake, but when it comes to the buttercream I do like to use butter, but don't worry if you've not got any, you can use margarine. Now get your butter nice and soft before you start to add your icing sugar, and I've got 100 grams of icing sugar here, and I'm just going to add a little bit at a time, creaming well between each addition. Now this bit can be quite tricky, and you could add a wee touch of milk or a wee spot of cream if you think it's a bit too stiff. That's ready. Now I'm going to take out some because I'd like to colour some. If you've got some food colouring, this is some paste food colouring, but if you've got the bottles of liquid, that's fine, just maybe half a capful. This is a bit stronger, so I'm just going to add a little dab of that red food colouring paste since it's Valentine's Day. It's a bit red. It's quite strong, that stuff, you don't need a lot. And then once the cakes are cool, we'll show you what we're going to do with that. So see you in a wee while. Right, so that's the sponge had 20 to 25 minutes in the oven and it's cooled for a good half hour. And do make sure you leave it to cool, otherwise your icing's just going to run off. Right, now I'm going to show you a few different options that you could do. Now if you have some cutters, you can make some little like mini Victoria sponges if you've got a round cutter, or if you've got a heart-shaped cutter, then it's going to be Valentine's Day. So just press down and get as many as you can. This cake's got a wee bit crispy, I should maybe have got it out a bit quicker. Now, we're not going to waste all these scraps because they can be eaten, or you could turn it into the base of a trifle if you wanted. But obviously just make sure you've got equal numbers because we're going to need one for the bottom and one for the top. Improvise. If we've not got the equipment, we can make do with what we've got. Now, as you know, I made some butter icing and coloured some pink and left some cream. So we're just going to sandwich some together with that. And I've got some raspberry jam here. You could use strawberry or apricot or whatever you fancy. I'm just going to take, this one's a bit chewed up because it wasn't quite enough left. So just spoon some jam onto one side, and then get the other half and pop a little bit of your butter icing, whichever colour you fancy. And then just pop that on top, and then dust with a little bit of icing sugar. As well. Well, not everybody likes jam, so you can leave some without jam. Or you can do normal jam, whatever you like. Now you don't need to do it this way, you can use your imagination, come up with some creative designs, and don't forget to post them and let us see what you come up with for Valentine's Day. Now if you want to do water icing and do some writing, just got some more icing sugar here. I'm going to add a spot of cold water to it. Now be really careful, don't go to the tap and run the tap, because you'll always get way too much water. So just better to have it in a glass or a jug and just add a splash at a time when you're making your water icing, just until you get the consistency that you're looking for. Okay, so we've made up some white water icing here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make a piping bag if you want to write on the top and you haven't got a piping bag, don't worry. As long as you've got a piece of paper, cut yourself a piece of paper and fold it in half, and then we're going to make it into a little piping bag. Just fold it into a triangle, fold that, roll it round. Take a spoonful, open it up and dollop that spoonful right into the middle, and then use your thumb and your hand to scoop that off. And now we're going to just fold down the top and squeeze it right so it comes to the end. And then just take your scissors and snip just the end off. Don't snip too much. You can always snip extra, and then you can try and practice your writing on a plate or on the work surface, just to make sure you've got the nozzle, if you like, the right size. I'm just going to add a little bit of red food colouring to what's left here. Take a knife, take one of your pieces, spread some of that water icing on the top. Now you can dip your knife in some warm water to spread that on nice and smoothly. Now leave that to set for a wee while before you write on top, but Martha's in a hurry, so I'm just going to show you how to do this. So just use your piping bag. Write your little messages. Kind of like love hearts. Take your time and do it a bit neater than what I'm doing. Have a go. And then we're just going to sandwich it together with another bit of our potted icing and jam if you want. And then you can see the writing's gone a little bit skewy, so I should have left it to dry for a bit longer first. But please have a go at some of